in my yard. Growing marijuana in my yard. I got little pots of pie spread out all over the lot, 'cause I'm growing marijuana in my yard. Well, I got the seed from...
So it's July 7th. Plants are growing pretty good. I mean, look how far they are above the trellis net now. Even the number 2 UVC has come through the top. And Mr. Clean, yeah, just about there. Not here to show you those though. I'm here to show you what I'm doing with my seed stock. I've got my breeding stock that I got from my friend up in the Smiths Falls area, who's a rather large ACMPR grower, and I'm doing some consulting work with him. He basically donated some strains to me. Some of them are CBD, some are THC, some are old school Afghani strains. It's just, you know, a cornucopia of genetics, which I'm going to use for breeding stock. These are 10-gallon rhizopods of the root pruning pouches. I've filled them up with my now patented mix of Happy Frog and HPCC. So basically 1 bag Happy Frog, 1 bag HPCC, equally blended and put into each one of these pots. And you see that bale and bag filled 6 10-gallon rhizopods, just about perfectly as I predicted. Now it's time to get them prepped. So I'm going to be watering the plants today, and I've already got water in the barrel that's been gassed off. Not that I had to gas off much, but it went through the boogie filter, so it's been ready to go for a couple of days. It's at ambient temperature, which is good. I'm going to put some rhizotonic, can of rhizotonic, in the barrel with my Terra Vega, and I'm going to give another dose of rhizotonic to the big girls, and I'm also going to give these a dose of rhizotonic too. And the reason you do the rhizotonic is to build up that beneficial bacteria in your root zone. That rhizotonic is going to feed that, and that's a good thing. So I want to mention something about the Happy Frog. You're gonna when you mix it up and put it in, you're gonna find stuff in there like this right here. I mean, that's a chunk of bark, you know, and don't throw that out. It's in there for a reason. These are all organic components. These organic components are really good. Sure, we're using a chemical-based fertilizer in the Terra Vega, but this is not to add a nutrient value. These organic elements are to provide a home for those beneficial bacteria and that beneficial fungus. That mycorrhizae is the inoculum for the beneficial fungus. And this Happy Frog elements that are in there, that are above and beyond what's in the HPCC, are going to provide a good home for your fungus and your bacteria. The good stuff, not the bad stuff. There's bad fungus and good fungus. Bad bacteria, good bacteria. We're going to help all the good ones take over so all the bad ones can't get in. I'm going to get my plants, my little starter plants up there. I'm going to bring them down, and we're going to plug them in, water them. I'm going to prep my barrel. Okay, so here's today's lineup to get this breeding stock going, and it's also going to help reinforce the beneficial bacteria that's already built up in 3 girls that I'm growing over there. So basically, I've got my rhizotonic. Yeah, some people call it rhizotonic. It's actually for the rhizosphere. It's a rhizosphere colonizer, so it's actually rhizotonic. And Terra Vega, my go-to. And I'm using 85% pH down this time around because it's a little more concentrated. You don't have to use too much. You can just use an eyedropper to put it into your 200-liter reservoir. So I'm going to need about 500-600 milliliters Terra Vega. I'm just going to go ahead and put what's left of this bottle in there. And remember, always shake everything before you use it. You got to make sure that's good. I'm probably repeating myself on that, but it's a good idea to keep doing that. So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to pH balance the water to 6.2. I'm going to water these little girls in, and everybody should be real happy. Put the rhizotonic in, and I put in my Terra Vega. Now, this is what your water's supposed to look like when you put the rhizotonic in. It's going to turn black, and that's okay. That black is just the kelp that they use as a base for the rhizotonic, and that's going to feed the beneficial bacteria. So, you know, black is good. Got myself a selfie stick. Can I have a look? How you doing? You don't usually see me. Here I am, digging holes, plugging in my breeding stock. Yeah, we got a gun range close by, in case you're wondering why there's a war going on. You hear this pretty much all day on the weekend. But, you know, everybody's allowed to have their guns. We're allowed to have our cannabis, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going until it's about the same size as the pot. Just about there. And yeah, I'd say that's probably about the right size right there, wouldn't you? Okay, so I got everybody plugged in. We're going to do something that's as important as adding rhizotonic, and that's watering your plants in. Yeah, I give them some water before I put them in, but if you add a little water after you put them in, it's called watering them in. It just helps them to get established in the pot. So I'm just adding a little bit more water. I'm probably going to end up using about half my barrel on these 6 10-gallon pots. The other half the barrel I'm going to put to the girls over in the big pen. So there you go, water them in, okay? So I'm here to water the girls. The big girls, and they're getting bigger all the time if you just kind of get a little gander at what we're looking at here are chin-high trellis netting as they've gone way above the top. So anyway, I'm here to water. So this is the first time that I've come to water, and the soil is basically dry. And it's probably not a bad thing to let them dry out a little bit in between watering. It's not bone dry, not to where they wilt or anything, but just let them use up what's in there. You won't get residual buildup too much then if you do that. So here's something else that I'm going to do. I think I talked to you in a previous episode about these little branches. These are sucker branches. These are never going to amount to anything. So I'm taking my shears and I'm just taking some of these off. Like they really aren't doing anything to help the plant. In fact, they're really just sucking the juices away from the plant. So just don't be afraid to cut those branches off. Get them out of here. They really don't. I mean, even this one, see, it comes out over here. It's trying to get up there, but honestly, it's never going to amount to anything, even though it's a little bit thicker. I'm just going to go ahead and take that one off. And out it comes. So, yeah, okay, so you might think, oh no, I took a big branch off. No, that's not going to be anything in the end. So, let's get them all off, and then we'll go ahead and finish the watering part. But yeah, strategic pruning 101. Okay, one last thing for today. Again, I'm watering. I'm taking off these little branches that aren't going to do anything. They're not real dry, but they're pretty dry. It's time to water. Just a couple of other things that you should do while you're watering is look for little weeds. You know, if you get these weeds out when they're little, they're really easy to pull out, and they won't get in a root zone that's going to get in there and start sucking off of your glory plant over here. So yeah, just do a little weed housekeeping, if you will. I'm going to cut these branches off, finish watering this plant, and we're done for today. It's getting up towards 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun's getting pretty darn powerful. It's getting hot, so I'm going to finish it off here, knock it off for the day. It's been an awesome day. I do love coming out here. This is not like a chore to me. I just love coming out here and doing some farming. I guess I'm a farmer. Okay, there is one more thing. Basically, I've cut off some of the little branches. I'm going to keep doing this as I go along. But while you're here, just do a good visual inspection on your plant. Check everything out. Make sure there's nothing funky going on. Look deep down inside. Wow, look, like there's some dead leaves in here. Let's get these dead leaves out. They're not going to do anything good in there. You don't want to leave them in there. Get those dead leaves out. Look for any damage, any indication that there might be some sort of insects or some sort of disease developing. Last year we had a phosphorus deficiency, and if it wasn't for plant inspections, it may have really gotten advanced and been harder to deal with. So yeah, give your plant a good inspection. Make sure that it's happy. And if it's not happy, give it what it wants. Breeding stock is all in. We've got Super Sour Diesel, Long Island Pink, number 2, Candida, Long Island Pink OG, Nightingale CBD strain, and Pink, one of my old strains that I managed to get back from my friend up near Sharper Lake. So that's cool, got Pink back. So there you have it, 2 CBD strains, 4 regular strains. That's what we're going to do. It's July 14th. This is our mid-July progress report. Just did my watering. You can see the UBC number 2 pheno is, well above the garden trellis. The Mr. Clean is just poking its head out, but look at the width and girth of this thing. This is at least 6 feet in diameter right now. It's got some major branching. I've had to prop this one up with a little piece of bamboo just to keep it inside the garden trellis. But this branch, just this branch, is almost like a separate plant all on itself. And then, wow, the champ, I mean, UVC number 5. Look at this. I mean, I have to do the pan shot to get it all in. It's way up here. It's above my head in mid-July. And let's look at the trunk down here. There's the trunk. Okay, so you're talking, you know, it's getting pretty big. I think we're gonna have some pretty big trunks on these puppies. Look at this one here. You know, this is just fantastic growth. Canna Terra Vega kicks ass. Root pruning pouches kick ass. You got to do this. This is the only way to grow outdoors, in my opinion. But you know, I'll let the results speak for themselves. I'm gonna give you another little treat. Oh, by the way, remember little Betty? Well, little Betty, he's not so little anymore. Still growing out of this crack. And look at the leaves, the branching. And guess what? It's got some siblings. I'm gonna go over and show you. This is a little area where we just kind of, you know, toss stuff once in a while. It's probably not good housekeeping. I'm gonna spread this pile out and put some wood chips on it. Wood chips is a good thing to cover any piles of rotting vegetation because it'll keep the botrytis spores from flying. But just take a look at this. Yep, those are plants. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure if there's any others around here. Anybody see anything? Yeah, 4 plants just growing out of the crap pile. You can't keep cannabis down. It just wants to grow. Good morning. It's July 25th, 2019. It's Grow Your Own. Little progress report. Plants are looking great. Just growing gangbusters. I'm so pleased with the way these are growing. Gonna look at some of the other things that are happening out there. You know, we got our construction thing, and you know, bamboo's growing pretty good. I'm ready to mix up my 200-liter barrel with the Terra Vega nutrients, pH balance it. Everything's in place, ready to go. I'm gonna mix it up, start watering. I just put my Terra Vega into the water, which has basically been sitting for 24 hours, as I always recommend. Interesting thing about the pH. I just put the can of nutrients in, and the pH is coming right out at 6.3, right off the hump, without putting any pH down in there. You know, nutrient buffering is normal. That happens. It seems, though, that this year it's a little bit different. The pH right out of the tap is about a point lower than it normally is, and I'm not sure why. I think it could be because of all the rain and the wet spring that we had has affected the groundwater. But basically, I'm just putting in the Terra Vega, and it's dropping it right down to the acceptable level. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that, and go ahead and water the plants. Now, if I don't use this whole barrel, I have to check it again 24 hours later because it probably will rise back up. Just an interesting note, though, that your water right out of the tap is not always stable. It can change, and that can affect how nutrients affect your water. So, you know, be cognizant of that and think about it. Always use your pH pen and make sure that you're at the right level before you deliver that water to your plants.
Hey, I just placed my first order at the Ontario Cannabis Store.
Cool. What did that cost you?
Tax and delivery, $15 a gram.
Wow. Did you know you can grow your own for under $1 a gram?
Yeah, but isn't it hard to grow?
Not at all. I got a 4-plant grow package from BMA Hydroponics, and it is super easy. They showed me how it works and answered all my questions.
BMA Hydroponics, huh? I'll pay them a visit.
BMA Hydroponics, 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville.
Okay, so before we start watering, we're just going to take a little inventory of what's going on with our plants. what we're looking at here is our breeding stock, and as you can see, there's been a lot of explosive growth with this breeding stock. You know, just in the little, I think they're 10 or 15 gallon rhizopods, the root pruning pouches, which are really awesome. But hey, look at this. This one's kind of drooping. I just watered this thing yesterday. It's sucking up the water really fast, and look how it's drooping over now. Thank goodness I'm going to be watering because it really needs it. You know, here's our Long Island pink. That plant has come back so nice, but you know, the soil's dry. These things are going to dry out every day. I'm going to water these every day from here on out. We're about 3 weeks away from flowering, so probably in about 4 weeks I'll be putting some pollen on my breeding stock, and hopefully we'll make some seeds. I still want to give away those seeds. I, you know, have the best of intentions, and I'm trying hard. Okay, so we'll see what happens. On to the big girls. Yeah, this trellis netting is at about the 5 feet height. So, you know, just taking that into account as being 5 feet and looking at how far up this plant is going, I'm going to call this one very near 7 feet tall. I would say probably almost 6 feet in diameter. So that's the UBC number 5 pheno, which is the one we kept. And here's the Mr. Clean. Now, it's not as tall. It's probably a foot past the trellis netting, so you know it's getting up there, but it's really big around. I mean, it goes around and around. This thing's probably 7 feet in diameter. It's just pretty branchy, and look at all the tops. I mean, every one of those tops is going to be a big flower. I'm looking forward to that. And look who's growing too. And when I say number 2, I mean UBC number 2. You know, we didn't keep this, you know. Maybe we should have. I don't know. But look at it. Look at it grow. I mean, it's just an incredible plant. It's probably up there, not quite as tall as the number 5 pheno, but it's getting up there. And again, all of these plants are so many tops. Just so many tops. Tops. And here's a different view. So I think we're going to have some awesome colas. And I just watered these a little bit yesterday, and they're already looking a little dry. I've got to do some more pruning down here. But yeah, there's a little bit of moisture in there, but I'm going to give them, you know, some water again today. And I've got to do some clearing out. I should be able to see daylight through these plants, and it looks like a jungle in there. So 3 weeks away from flowering, now's a good time to get in there and start taking out some of these leaves that are just really not doing anything but blocking air movement and taking up light. So, you know, not all of them. You got to leave some to do photosynthesis and generate energy. But you want to open it up and let that air in, let the light in. Okay, so I'm going to move on to watering now. Just thought I'd give you the bird's eye view. Oh, just one other thing. I guess we should update you on Betty. You remember Betty, right? Well, look at Betty now, growing out of a crack between the patio stones, just spontaneously sprouted. And look at that. This will show you, you know, you can get a result from cannabis. Cannabis will grow anywhere, under any conditions, just about. So you can say, yeah, I got a great result when I grew my cannabis. Well, yes, cannabis wants to grow. It'll grow between the cracks in concrete, and it'll start to branch out, and it'll look at that thing. So, sure it will. But you know what? If you take care of your plant and you give it a good home and you feed it right, you get this instead. So, yes, you'll get a result doing nothing for your plant. Well, you'll get a much better result if you look after it and give it what it wants. To add to that, let's just show you. Here's our compost pile plants. Again, just spontaneously growing out of crap. And cannabis wants to live. It wants to be free. And I just think it's so awesome. It's so easy to grow. Just give it what it wants. So let's check our big UBC here. See how she's doing. Yeah, it's yep, that's pretty, you know, pretty dry considering I just gave it some water yesterday. These things are sucking it up at an amazing rate. I've got my gravity feed watering system here, and I've got my little valve down here that controls the flow. So, you know, this is so easy. I can get my chair. take it easy. Nice morning, birds are tweeting. And I'm going to just have a little bit of a Zen experience in watering of plants. And I just enjoy this so much. Oh, look, here it comes. So I'm going to give them a good soaking. I might use half the barrel. I might use the whole barrel. I'll just see how it goes. But I'm not going to skimp on water. They want their food, they want their hydration, and they want to grow. And I'm going to let them do that. You know, I'm not making them do it. I'm just giving them what they want. And they're doing it on their own. So that's how easy it is. Give the plant what it wants. We're all finished for today. It was a really relaxing effort, actually. I rather enjoyed watering my plants. You know, I love just interacting with them. Here's my nightingale. That's the one that we looked at. It was kind of droopy. It was dry. Look at this. In like 10 minutes after I watered it, she's standing back up. You know, there's the last remnants of any drooping. But look, everybody's standing straight and tall. Just give them what they want. Good morning. It's Sunday, August 4th, 2019. This is Grow Your Own Outdoor. Yeah, the construction's getting a little closer. They're almost done building houses. Next summer, we're just going to have the subdivision. And you know, you can see what's right there. There's yeah, those are super mailboxes right in our backyard. And there's my plants. Everybody's doing awesome. Look how big they are. You know, it's kind of a race for the eaves trough. I don't think anybody's going to make it. And I'll tell you why, because I think everything's starting to set up for flower. Things have been going a little bit early. I've had a lot of people tell me that their plants are already starting to get furry. Try to reach up so you can see this main top. I'm going to use I have a wand, basically a tripod kind of selfie stick that I'm going to use to see if I can get some of the shots that are up there out of my reach. But you can see when they start to cluster. You see that how they're forming clusters in here? And they kind of start to look like they're spiraling around a little bit. That's a sign that they're setting up to bud. Normally I wouldn't expect this till the middle of August. I mean, it is the 4th, so it's not exceptionally early, but everything seems to be going a little bit early this year, just because I think partly because of a cold, wet spring, followed by just a gangbuster summer. And today, right now, it's probably approaching 80 degrees Fahrenheit right here, and it's just 5 past noon. So I'm going to get out here. I'm going to water now. It was pretty chilly last night, so I decided to wait till a little later because the water in the barrel there is probably a little chilly. I just give it a little time to warm up a little bit, get to the same temperature as the soil down here. So I'm going to mix up my nutrients, get things going, get it in gear. Oh, and we'll have a little tour of our breeding stock too. Okay, Terra Vega's in. Just going to have a little check here, see where the pH is at. And it is at, look at that. Put the Terra Vega in, and it's at 6.4, 6.3. Look at that. I think it's going to make 6.3. I don't have to put very much pH down on this. This has been happening this year, and I'm not sure why. But the pH out of the tap seems to be lower, and the buffering effect of the canna therefore drives it closer to the sweet spot of 6.2. It's kind of holding at 6.4 right now, so I'm going to put a couple of drops of pH down in there, try to get it down to 6.2. But wow, that's some pretty fancy nutrient buffering. Okay, so we've got the pH and the barrel all figured out. It's at the sweet spot. Just having a little closer look at the plants. See if things are going. Yeah, she's getting up there pretty good. Let's have a dryness check. I do this. Yeah, see if you just kind of brush off the surface and see down underneath, it's dry. It's not dark. The soil, it's light down there, and it's dry to the touch. So these plants are really sucking it up right now. Probably giving them. They're probably drinking about 30 liters of water each per day right now. That's probably going to go up. I'm using a full barrel now to water. Every time I water, that's 200 liters at a time. So yeah, and you can see like this one's actually starting to droop a little bit. This is a sign that maybe things are getting a little too dry in between, but it's not a big deal. We're gonna get rid of this leaf. So yeah, we're gonna take and water these things. Oh, I just want to show you one other thing. We all remember little Betty. Remember Betty down here growing out of the crack? There's a crack right down here, and there, right there, there's concrete, and there's Betty. Yeah. Well, guess what? Betty is really, really tall now, and Betty's not Betty. Oh, Betty is Barney. Barney has balls. Barney's gonna blow its wad any minute now. So, unfortunately, our plant, which turns out to be a male that was growing out of the cracks, is going to have to go bye-bye today because the only pollen I want to put on these plants is the pollen that I know. Well, this is in memory of Betty. Oh, sorry, I mean Barney. Oh boy, been working my ass off today. Yeah, I just kind of stuck them in here just so you can see them in full splendor. That's how big that plant grew between the cracks in my patio. Just to give you a rough idea, I'd say it's probably a good 4.5 feet, laden with male flowers. So, bye-bye, Barney. See you later. Thanks for everything. Okay, let's see if we can get you up there, way up in the air, and have a look at these plants as they're starting to spiral, setting up for flower. There you go. There's a nice aerial shot for you. You can see these plants are quite tall. I'm about 6 feet, just over 6 feet tall. Monkey arms, yeah, they're really long. And I've got a wand that's about 3 feet long. So yeah, the camera's probably up about, I don't know, 9 feet or so. Maybe more, maybe 10. And I'm having trouble getting to the top of the plants, as you can see. But this will give you a really good bird's eye view of how these plants are looking. Awesome. So as the neighborhood kids play, let's just have a look at our breeding stock. Super sour diesel. I'm going to be seeding this one. And, of course, that's Long Island pink. And Candida, one of our CBD strains we'll be making seeds with. Very nice plant. Here's another Long Island. What do we got here? Ooh, Nightingale. That's another CBD strain. And finally, we have pink, just straight up pink. And look at the pink. It's starting to flower a little bit. Isn't that pretty? So all of these are going to be full of seeds. I've got 5 different kinds of pollen. I've got six plants right here. You know, these are the ones that I got from my friend up in Smiths Falls. You might see him on the roadshow. I haven't decided if we're going to be publishing that part of the roadshow or not, but if I do, you'll be impressed. It's quite the grow. So these are some nice strains. I'm going to be making seeds with my pollen, and I'm also going to be making a little bit of seeding over here with these too. I'm going to try to be more strategic with these ones, but these ones, it's all out. It's all out seed work here.